databases. This video is going to cover the question 5.1. So let's start by enabling content, and it says open the members table and change the following. So double click on members. There we go, and we need to do some changes. I'm going to go into the design view. First thing I want me to change is the field size of name to 20. So I make sure I'm here by name, go to field, and then select 20. Then it says set a primary key to the most appropriate field. Now if I look through all these fields, the only one that I can see which would be unique to the record would be the code. So I'm going to select that row and say primary key. Now what it says is that I need to add a feature that will allow the code field to accept data entered in the following way: 4 capital letters and 1 or 2 digits. So the feature we're looking for is the input mask. In order to get capital letters, we need to put a greater than, and the first characters that are going to go in here are 4 letters. So these 4 letters are compulsory. So we put 4 capital L's in it, and then it's followed by 1 or 2 digits. So the first digit is definitely compulsory, so that's going to be 0. And then the second digit is not a compulsory digit. If we want to leave it out, we can, or if we have a digit to enter in there, we can also enter a digit. So this character now is going to be one that can accept a digit, but it's not an option. So the character we're looking for is 9. Okay, now I want to show you something. We're always eager to run into the design view to see what this looks like when we've created it, to see we've got it right. And we tend to save and go into the design view very quickly. And we didn't realize that the primary key for this has been set. We set it, meaning that this needs to have a value now that we've selected it. And when we type in the 4 letters and the 2 numbers, now we've created a string. But if we noticed, the data type for this code was actually set to number. So this is going to give us an error. So it says enter new value. Now if we have to try just enter numbers, it won't allow that because our input mask says we need 4 capital letters. So now we're in a bit of a pickle, since we have set this to a primary key and we can't leave this empty. So what we can do here in this menu is just tell it to convert the data in this column to the text data type. And there it's converted it. If we go into our design view now, you can see over here it's changed it to short text as opposed to the number that it was on, and the input mask is still the same. So that is how you get out of that situation if you find yourself in it. Alright, now it says choose the most appropriate data type for the field with a description. So if we look at all these fields, the only one that has a description is this one, which is the cost. And it says the amount a user spends on devices. So this is a monetary value. So we're not going to add it as text, we need to add it as currency. Now it says add a validation rule to the cost field to accept products of more or equal to 2,000 and less or equal to 20,000, and an appropriate message that would guide the user. Alright, so what we're going to do is in the cost field, which is this one that we're in already, we're going to come down to where it says validation rule. Now the rule is where we're going to type in the actual expression, and here where it says validation text, that is the text we will type in if the person types an incorrect value that does not line up with our expression. Okay, so the expression, let's read it again. They say it must be more or equal to 2,000. So we can start it off by saying greater than or equal to, and then type in the number 2,000. Just make sure it's a value. Don't type in the R for rand. The computer knows it's rand because we're in the cost and we've set it to currency. So we do not have to do that here. And then we're going to say and, because there's 2 things we need to look at. Then we're going to say smaller than or equal to 20,000. Now at the bottom, we are going to type in the validation text. Now over here, I'm going to say between 2,000 and 20,000. If I go, let's first save. Now saying that the size of more or fields has been changed to shorter size. If data is lost, validation rules may be violated as a result. We're going to continue. We're going to say yes. Right, so if I add 3,000 here and I move on, it takes that value. I'm going to add something below that, so 1,500. And when I try, you will see that message between 2,000 and 20,000. Now this is very plain message. Next time, put the R's in and make it look better so they know that we're dealing with money. Alright, so let's put back a big number, and there we go. Okay, another way of doing this function, instead of saying greater than equal to 2,000 and smaller than equal to 2,000, we can set it up a little differently and just say between 2,000 and 20,000. When we use this between, it actually includes the amounts that we are typing in. So over here, we can just type in the R and the R to make it look a bit better. Okay, as you can see, the 3,000 is still taken in there. So if I now delete this and put 1,500 again, you'll see the error message. Change the R so you can see now it looks better. It's money. So I say okay. I'm going to put the 2,000 so you can see it accepts it. Alright guys, so that is the validation rule for cost. Now it says insert a drop-down list for the reason field to display the options personal or work. So we're going to go into the design view, go down to the reason field, and over here we're going to go to look up and change it from a text box to a list or a combo. Now they say insert a drop-down list for the reason field to display the options. So they ask for a list, so we need to say list. Over here, row source type. We're not getting this from any particular row or table or query. So we are going to just say value list, meaning that we want to type in our own values. And then over here where it says row source, we're going to type our values in. So the value goes into quotation marks. And the first one we're going to say is personal, quotation mark, and then semicolon, and then quotation mark again, and we type in work and semicolon. I'm going to save, go to my sheet view, and then over here, reasons, you'll see the little arrow drops down. When I click on it, that gives me the two options that I typed in. Alright, so that was the table all done. We need to save and close the members table. Well done. This is it. Save and close.